I'm back with my favorite astrologer, Emily. What's up, MoonLords? How you guys doing? What's up, Emily? Emily, you with me? What's up, MoonLords? What's up? Monty, what's up? Glad to see you guys are here. We're about to retire with this AMC trade. That's for show. Emily, you with me?
Oh.
There you are. What's up, Emily?
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Were you talking that whole time? Yeah, I'm here.
We are here with my favorite astrologer, Emily. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm excellent. The moon is growing. The moon is waxing. And AMC's been going up since, for the most part. We're looking really good so far this week. You guys keep in mind, we have a full moon on Sunday. We get the full moon climaxes on AMC 3 days within the full moon. So it looks like this Friday looks very interesting, but also Monday looks interesting as well. And I do want to talk about a little bit of the stars today. We're going to talk about some other DD Emily's been doing, I've been doing, and we're going to just do some live price action. We're going to be here for about an hour. If you guys do want to come in, we're going to do 2 live readings. If somebody wants to call in, we'll do 2 full moon live readings for you guys at the very end. But yeah, let's talk about some of the stuff happening in the stars today. So today, we have a 0-degree Venus in Libra, and that's what's up for both me and Emily, both like that. And Emily will tell you why.
Yeah, we're Venus ruled. You guys have heard that before, but we pay attention to it because it matters. And so now, like, our ruling planet is in domicile in Libra, which is universally good for everybody. Like, this is always a really fun time, but it's especially good for us.
Yes. If you guys don't know what that means to be Venus ruled or be ruled by a certain planet, in your chart, when you're born, you have what's called a rising sign. That's the first house, the map of your entire life. You can kind of look at the first house like that, the projection, your persona, how you see yourself and how you want the world to see you, and just kind of how you interact with the world. So me and Emily both do it very Venus-like. So we like harmony. We like things to be balanced. We like things to be very diplomatic and fair. We're also very into like the arts and things looking beautiful and aesthetics and stuff like that.
Aesthetic is a big deal.
Yep, and Venus ruled people also like money, because Venus does rule money. Don't get it twisted, okay? But Venus ruled people, we don't tend to just work for our money. We rather, look pretty and act like Aphrodite and just kind of wish everything into existence.
Yeah, we're big manifestors too. That's actually a real thing. Like, sometimes for us, the answer is that you have to calm down and get pretty and like just let it happen. Sometimes it doesn't always work when we're trying to like force things or be super Martian about it. Like, persuasion is a big part of being Venus ruled.
Yeah, exactly. And another thing Venus has that a lot of people, I don't see a lot of people talk about when they talk about Venus, but Venus, I interpret it as a very healing sign. I mean, it's the planet of love. I've noticed, even with me, I like to heal people. I like to spread love. I like to spread good energy. And that's what Venus does. It's a very healing sign as well.
Yeah, because we really do care that people like leave like this or any interactions with us like feeling better. Like, that's a Venusian thing. You want people to be in better condition when they leave your presence and they came to you. It's a lot about making the people around you feel really good too.
Yes. And KGG says smooth talking, charming. Yes. As a Libra rising, that means I'm Venus from an air sign. And yes, I would say my biggest asset is my ability to communicate and, basically charm, I guess you could say. I use it in business, and getting people to trust me with their money and stuff like that is very Venus of me.
And I don't know if you saw this, but Monty was actually saying something about you should start a guided meditation because your voice is so smooth. And at the same time you were typing that, he was literally like calming me down through a panic attack on chat. Like, even his cyber speech was like calming and soothing. I thought that was so funny that you picked up to that.
Yeah. Monty is super intuitive. He's a fellow Pisces moon like me. What's up, Monty? What's up, KGG? So check this out. So Venus just went 0 degrees Libra today, and as Emily said, that's Venus in a very good place because that's Venus's home sign. And Venus Venus being at home is good for everybody. It's good for money. It's good for relationships. It's good for harmony. It's good for having fun. It's good for looking pretty and just having better balance in life. And so let's talk about that. Emily, what would you say?
Well, okay, like just to be a pessimist here, I know it's always me, but like coming up with that, even for a ruler planet, there are bad sides to Venus, and there's super bad sides to like Venus and Libra. You need to guard your pocketbooks with your life. Like the urge to spend everything you have is going to get really strong at different points over the next 3 weeks. And indulgence, you know, just like really spending too much time with like the sweet things that you like. You always have to watch not going too far, just like with Jupiter, you know, too much of anything can be toxic. So but everything else about Venus is lovely.
Well, I mean, there's definitely a lot of not so pleasant things about Venus. For example, Venus is exalted in Pisces, and even though that's an amazing position, with that position you have so much fucking Venus energy, because Venus is like all about abundance, all about just like having a beautiful life, and in Pisces it's all about escaping, right? So when Venus is really healthy in your chart or really dominating your chart, it can give you a lopsidedness on life sometimes, where you're just kind of just focused on the beautiful things and not always focus on the Mars stuff, taking action, or things conflict, or things being hard, right? Venus likes things to be nice and smooth.
Right, you lose like, and all of the planets have their strong points. Like Venus doesn't necessarily volunteer for like Saturnian stuff, but like you need to have endurance and discipline in different areas of your life. So anytime one planet goes into domicile and they're at their like most powerful where they are, you do have to like watch for the downside more carefully, because they have the ability to project that more strongly onto you.
Right. But let's get to the juicy stuff when we talk about Venus, because then when people hear Venus, they hear relationships, and after all, Venus does rule relationships. Libra, the sign that it's currently in, does rule relationships. Excuse me. So what does this mean for relationships? Okay. Well, for one, I would say the biggest things we want to pay attention to when it comes to our partners at this time is the balance. Okay. If the partner is saying something's unfair or something's unbalanced, and the partner's fighting for some type of better symmetry, better balance, better harmony, you really want to listen to your partner at this time, because it's a great time to find a new balance, and it's a great time for communication, because Venus in Libra is all about communicating. Okay, so I want you guys to really focus on what your partners are communicating, what you guys are trying to communicate with your partners, and always remember, when you're dealing with like Venus and Libra and things are unbalanced, the key isn't to fight to bring Mars energy into the fight. The thing is to speak on it in a very Venus calming, collected way, right? Because Venus in Libra is a logical sign, it being an air sign. So guys, I feel you. Venus can sometimes be a little bit.
It can go either which way, yeah. But I mean, it's not fair to say like Libra energy is all like super. I mean, it can be a little like, I feel like Legally Blonde was a Libra, like Elle Woods was a Libra. Like that's like, so I guess we're both right actually at the end of the day. It's like a little bit of both.
Libra wants to be logical, but hey, sometimes Aphrodite gets a little selfish in her ways and wants it the way she wants it. Okay. So
yeah, she's beautiful. She gets stuck looking in the mirror at her own reflection. Yeah. You know, you have to force her into deeper waters.
Right. But the main thing I guess we want to talk about with Venus and Libra is balance. Balance is key. Don't get too lopsided with your partners. Don't get too lopsided with your money. This time is a great time to have balance. And this is why Saturn is exalted in Libra, meaning Saturn does best in Libra, which is a Venus sign. And Saturn is like a work sign. But why is Saturn exalted in Libra? Because Libra is the great balancer. And when Saturn goes into Libra, you have the ability to balance everything in your reality. And that's what Saturn wants to do. It wants to build reality, it wants to have consistent structure. And Libra is a great place for it to be, because it gets to balance out everything. What do you think about that, Emily?
Actually, I can kind of see it now with what you're saying as far as Libras being like more, because Libras are, if nothing else, like very fair. Like they will honestly like go, it is about considering both sides of the situation, which can be hard for signs that require more loyalty, honestly, like Scorpio right next door. You don't always want to have somebody that's kind of sitting on the fence and weighing out the options. But for Libra to be able to do that, they have to like take like a very like a wider view on everything, but in the whole sense that everything needs to be as balanced as possible, because that's like the benefic is in Libra. That's what she values in Libra. So if you want her blessings on you, you have to kind of like embody those qualities. But if you do have imbalance or upset in your life, it's going to be more easier than ever right now to put it to rest. That's the other thing. You have a lot of planetary power to kind of like smooth it out. So any mission or area where you have to do that, it's also like an auspicious time to do it, because you're more likely to have the results that you want.
Right. Shout out to the people in the chat. I see some new people in here. Young Finest is a Libra Sun, Aries Moon, Scorpio Rising. Wow. So you have an air, fire, and some water as your main three. So yeah,
that's
you have
a badass big three. That's actually like respect. That's a really
right.
You must be a cool person. That sounds awesome.
You must be a person that really knows how to turn on that charm, but you can definitely turn on a whole
magnetism. I can feel it from here. Like we're already talking about you, and it's like one comment.
Right. And this is a person, if you tip their scales the wrong way, that Libra will turn up with that Sun and Aries, or a Aries Moon and a Scorpio Rising. Yeah, don't be fooled by a Libra, all because they're charming, all because they're loving, all because they're all about harmony and being diplomatic. If a Libra gets upset because things are unfair, they will turn up.
That's a cardinal sign.
Yeah.
People forget because they're so associated with beauty, but that is a cardinal sign, and any cardinal sign, wherever they are, is ready to fight if they have to. Like, if it comes to that, it will happen. Totally. Libra's got grit.
Yeah, for sure. So happy to have you here, Young Finest. Purely Unbounded, what's up? John, what's up? Joey, what's good? What's good? Christina Arnold, I don't know if you're in here, but someone shouted you out in the chat. So, oh yeah, you are here. So what's up? What's up? Another great astrologer. Okay. So this week we have, or on Sunday, we have a full moon. You guys know I talked about that a little bit in my DD this week. But the Sunday is the full moon, and we can have a full moon climax 3 days within the full moon, which we've seen that historically many times, okay? So Friday looks very, very interesting. And coming into Monday, since it's the day after the full moon, I'm still very interested to see what happens that day. Now, as mentioned before, it is a blue moon, full moon, meaning it's the second time that the full moon will be in Aquarius. This time will be in a 29th degree, which is an extremely, extremely powerful degree because it's a completion degree. It's the very last degree of a sign. So you can see a big completion there. And obviously, full moons are endings, beginnings, so more of a climax energy. And Aquarius is very explosive because it's ruled by Uranus, okay? And Uranus is all about explosions into the future. What do you think about that, Emily?
That sounds about right. I mean, it's an incredibly auspicious full moon, from my opinion, because it's happening in Aquarius that currently has Saturn in domicile. We'll still have Leo, the sun in Leo, Mercury in Virgo in domicile and exalted, and now Venus in Libra. Like, that's crazy planetary power behind it. But because it is the second one coming into Aquarius, like, it does have, all full moons kind of have that sense of closure attached to them. They usually are some kind of a completion. But as we're going back, like, our first full moon was in like 0 degrees, and now we're at 29 degrees. Like, it feels like an ending of something that we've been kind of coming back to, like a really, really, really big one. And super positive for somebody. Maybe not super positive for everybody, but it looks like a few people, a few different placements are going to have some big blessings on this full moon.
And what's fun about this full moon is the last time we had it, we didn't get a big full moon pop at all. So it's like we got a second chance to get that pop on this Aquarius. It's awesome.
Yes, I love it. And now we have Venus and Mercury, which I think have both happened since the last full moon.
Right. And it's funny we're talking a lot about Venus because Venus just started transiting Venus just started trining AMC's Venus. And that, I think that's pretty interesting on top of that.
Yeah, and it's like trying their ascendant right now. Exactly, right?
Right. And
it's closing in.
And another thing I want to mention about Libra energy in general is it actually rules the artist of the zodiac, okay? Leo would be like the celebrity, the performer. Pisces would be the creator. And Libra would be the actual artist that wants to, paint a beautiful picture or create a beautiful story.
Excuse me, what is Taurus? You skipped Taurus.
Taurus is the ultimate.
Too.
Yeah, Taurus is the ultimate manifester. They can literally build anything picture perfect. So if they want to be a celebrity, they want to be a writer, and actually, they can work on something for a long time. That's something that Taurus has over the Libra. Libra's a little more scattered, where Taurus can get hyper focused on something and stay on that until it gets manifested. And that's why Tauruses are considered the best manifestors in the zodiac, because they're fixated Earth, the second Earth sign, that's concrete Earth, and they roll the senses. They really want to make everything they believe in, everything they see, a reality, a true reality, in the physical form. Okay. In fact, Tauruses low-key are known as Earth sign. Have you heard that before?
We are an Earth sign.
No, the Earth sign. Like if Earth had a sign, it would be Taurus. That's what they say.
Oh yeah. Because we rule greenery and stuff like that, and like the earthiest of the Earth signs.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Exactly. So shout out to all the Tauruses out there. Shout out to Emily. And Tauruses are low key like Scorpios, y'all. So don't think a Taurus won't turn up on you either, because they're very stubborn. They're very hard headed. A Taurus moon person, the moon is exalted in Taurus, and whoa, watch out! Like those people.
I think that's KG. Like she has.
Oh yeah, she just said Taurus moon. Yep.
Yep. I remember that. And your mom is like a Taurus rising or something like that, and you got the healthy parts of that. Never mind, I'm not going to put your business on the air. But that is like an exalted moon position for sure. But you definitely you have some firepower if you get pushed too far. Like it takes a lot to push you there, but if you are pushed, that's going to be bad for everybody involved.
Yeah. Don't play with a Taurus. My dad has an exalted Aries and an exalted moon in Taurus, and my gosh, like he's like in his 60s, and I don't like going to the gym with him because he pushes me too hard. He works out too hard. He's in way worse shape than me, and he still outworks me in the gym. He has like unlimited supply of energy. It's nuts. Yeah, it's nuts.
That sounds good for you, though.
I mean,
at least somebody to challenge you, so you can't be like dominant in like every single part of your life.
Well, because of my dad is why I had to learn to like stand up for myself and not be afraid, because my dad is like, he didn't understand a Pisces, okay? And he's an Aries, so I was doing things like a Pisces, and he's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like in football, he, first of all, when I was in 5th grade, he made me join the 8th grade team. Everyone was picking on me, trying to hit me in practice, waiting for me in line. He heard I was like running away from that kind of stuff, so he showed up at practice. He literally got behind me, and he would throw me into the people in front of me, so I would learn not to be afraid. So that was my that was just a little tidbit experience as a Pisces having an Aries dad. It was crazy. It was absolutely insane.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that was
okay,
and that was nothing.
I understand more about you now. Like I was actually like, because I have anxious just DNA, I don't know. I always get anxious before we do this, and it's never a problem. Like I just keep going through it, but he is like no nerves ever. Like you cannot get like a heightened reaction out of him for any reason. And I was like texting while we were waiting for this, being like, do you never panic? Like it's never going to be you nervous. There's no reason. Yeah. And now I kind of get where that came from, but that's like that's a very Martian way to have to learn that lesson. I'll say that.
Yeah. I grew up with only fearing one thing. That was my father. Nothing else scared me because my father was too scary for anything to compare. All right. So, Emily, you've been looking at some GameStop stuff. You've been looking at some stock market stuff. Do you want to kind of mention some of that?
Yeah, we have huge news. There's like so many different places where stuff's happening. First of all, we have to talk about GameStop, because when I was going through the original astrology and some of the predictions that I've had lately that I still have as far as like where some of these points were getting hit. When we originally streamed it, Jason brought up a point that I didn't like at the time because I hadn't considered it, but that there might be too many planets in retrograde for that energy to manifest the way that it was supposed to. And the date might be closer to sometime in October when those planets go direct and go over those points one more time. And I think we're pretty much calling it. He was right. He had it right. Like it's not it's not hitting the way that it's supposed to, but all of the ingredients are there. Like when the activations have happened with like the planets on like the day, like GameStop will start going up a little bit, but by the end of the day, like AMC overtakes it. So Jason called that one hugely. I think we're looking at sometime like the third week of October, maybe first week of November, depending on when that lunation kicks in and it's in the right phase.
Yeah, and just so you guys understand, Emily's calls, first of all, we're right. It's going to take time for the retrogrades to be over, for them to actually make the move.
Which is actually the very right smart call. The only reason, this is why I always try to say, when it comes to bullish astrology, you guys have got to be like, especially for me, it's so hard to stay balanced because you'll see these big flashy like signs that everything is going to go in the right direction. It just takes like a lot of scrutiny to go through everything. But I honestly, the first time I even considered the fact that the planets being retrograde would be a problem was when you said it in that stream. And then I was like, I didn't know what to do. I was like, do I walk it back immediately? No, let's try it, because it had some other supporting aspects. And it was strong enough to go with, but it's just not happening. You were right.
But it's still going to happen. All we got to do is buy and hold. That's for sure.
Yeah, we just have to wait for everything to go direct, which is going to be like a massive force of energy. And then just starting from like the first week in November through the end of this year is going to be absolutely bananas. Like there's too much going on. Like there's astro hitting every single week. And some of it is looking really significant. Like before we get into 2022, before we hit Christmas, it looks like there's going to be something really massive happening.
Yeah, it does. And we're just still at the tip of the iceberg. And I think it's very fair to say that GameStop is due for a big move. It's been just chilling under $200 for a long time. So it's definitely preparing for a big move. And AMC, just so you guys remember, I want to see 46 by Thursday, and then Friday could look super amazing. Or we could see 46 by Friday, and then Monday could be that day where we get a really, really big move. But we're definitely headed the right direction on this new moon waxing phase. And that's why I like tracking the moon for AMC, because there's no doubt that AMC is with the moon. All because we don't get a full moon jump doesn't mean that it's still not trading with the moon. We've clearly started to drop during the waning and consolidate, and we've clearly been only going slowly up since the waxing, okay? So we're still looking very, very beautiful for that setup. Let's go. Okay, let's see some of the chat. So KG said, Taurus feels like my lucky side. Yes, Taurus is very lucky. It's very
lucky.
Much a man.
You also, with that Taurus moon, you kind of do have to be careful about like words, thoughts. I'm sure you already know that. I'm sure you've had instances where like people have accused you of speaking something into existence, because those thoughts do like start to appear in reality pretty quickly. But it's a lucky place to have, especially with somebody who's as spiritually in tune as you are, because you can control it.
Yeah, totally true. And she says, my son is a Scorpio, sun Leo rising, and if I push him like that, he'll shut down. Yeah, see, the thing about your sun is with Scorpio sun and then Leo rising, that makes him super fixated. And because there's their second sign of each of their element, and the second sign is always a fixed sign, and those signs are always like determined, fixated, stubborn, and it's really hard to sway them once they make a decision. And we all know the Scorpio tends to put themselves in the dark when they don't want to be in a vulnerable position. They'll just kind of disappear. So I'm not surprised by that, but he'll learn to work with that energy with time, okay? Because at the end of the day, he has a Scorpio sun that does make him watery, where he can learn to adapt. He just has to learn to melt the ice. And the ones that have heard me talk about Scorpio before, you guys know Scorpios get a feeling and a vibration, and it gets stuck there, okay? And they just have to learn to melt the ice. Monty says, super tempted to buy GameStop right now. I only currently hold AMC. I had JMC with GameStop, and I hedged GameStop with AMC, so I don't think that's a bad idea.
Yeah, I think that like if nothing else, when we're at these like low prices, like I don't know, I don't want to put anything on it, but this should really be a big time accumulation phase. Like I am even with what I have, I'm like starting to feel like it's not enough for the way things are looking at the end of the year. Like I don't have enough tickets in either of them. Except no, there's nothing. There's nothing. December 17th, some of the astrology that we were looking at, especially for GameStop, this date that's popped up, like GameStop has a direct hit. There's a massive there's a Venus-Pluto conjunction that pulls back to the last time that we had this like money of Venus, right? Wealth, Pluto, accumulation, like transfer of power. Like obviously this is where we've been getting like the wealth transfer part from. The last time that aspect was exact was January 27th. And there's like 4 other massive aspects, like the week of the 15th to the 18th, that just look like something so massive is about to happen, and the market is not going to be happy about it. And it's crazy because like some of the major like DDs among you and everybody has pretty much held that this is going to go. If we did Moon, if we did all of that, it was going to absolutely annihilate the market around us, because everything else is going to have to get bled out to be able to pay these massive tabs that they put together. So finding a day that has like astrology showing pretty much both those things, like massive amounts of life-changing money, changing ownership, and stock market crash, is like I can't think about anything else. I'm like having such a hard time. Like I'm trying to filter it all to get it into a blog, but it's really seriously some of the most exciting stuff that I've seen.
Yeah.
I've been looking for a day that looks like it could be it. I know it's going to happen. I see it in AMC's chart and GameStop. They have the promise of something like this happening to them. And there's been moments where it's come close. That's the first time that I've ever looked at something that was like, that's exactly like what that looks like. And if not, it's going to be an enormous day, whichever way it happens.
Right. And at the end of the day with GameStop, I feel like it's such a safe bet. I mean, it's been chilling in these levels for so long, and we haven't had like any news on GameStop, and you know they're working hard behind the scenes and getting the organization and the company in better situations and better plays and more branding and more products and all that good stuff. So GameStop,
it literally just takes a match at this point. Like right. It's so like loaded that you just never know when it's going to happen. The right piece of press, and that's it.
Yeah, and one thing I really like GameStop that AMC doesn't have as much safety with is the pandemic. I mean, GameStop is pretty much transitioning all the way online, and so it's pandemic, it's COVID proof, you could say. So yeah, I think GameStop is definitely, Monty. If you have some cash for some GameStop, I would just get a few shares and nibble on it because it's definitely going to pop, and it's definitely squeeze or no squeeze, GameStop will go up, in my personal opinion.
And I have to say, like, every other time I've gotten into GameStop, like, for the GameStop maxis, I'm sorry about this, but it's always been behind FOMO. Like, so I, like, never got a price point of being able to actually get at 165 before, because I've always caught it on 200 or somewhere around there when it's on the way up. So I totally appreciate the universe giving me a moment to, like, get my cash together and finally, like, price down and average down, and I feel like I deserve that. Every time I bought so far, it was like, I think this is the 3rd or 4th like round of price action that I've been buying into. So
yep,
I'm happy about that.
Yeah, now my average on GameStop is 200, and I'm totally comfortable with that. Okay, so let me go ahead and show the moon phase chart for AMC, guys. I just want to demonstrate what happened since we entered this waxing. Okay, so you can see here, right when we had that new moon, the very next day we had a green day, and then we had a red day, and then we had a neutral day, and then it's been straight up since then, and it's basically been looking perfect. Okay, so my next line of really good strength will be around that $38 mark, and that would be the medium range of the last waxing moon. So if we get around that $38 mark, I'm going to be very, very happy. I definitely want to see that by Tuesday or Wednesday, preferably tomorrow. And then if we get into this $46 range, the full moon on October 22nd looks great. But you guys can clearly see here that we started going up on this waxing beautifully, just like we wanted to see. And then look at the MACD, it's starting to go up is starting to squeeze green, and that's perfect. That happened literally days after the new moon. Now we come over, and we come over here on the waxing phase that we had right before we had that big push to $73 on that eclipse. It's pretty much the same exact setup, right? On that new moon, we started to see green. Okay, we started to see a little bit of an uptrend, and then we literally just like popped right on that full moon, like beautifully. So I will not be surprised if we get something very similar to that, because it's looking practically the same. Okay, now let's see the chat here. Jose Bookman, he's new. Shout out to Jose. He's one of the new people here. I've never seen him here before. What's your sign? Shout out your sign. By the way, if you guys want a full moon reading at the end of this reading, which is at the end of this stream, which we're only streaming for an hour, so if you guys want a full moon reading personally, go ahead and just call. The Zoom meeting is right there. Okay, so let's see. AMC right now is at $35.79. We're up almost 7%. And GameStop is slowly trending up too. I mean, it's been having nothing but little green days, which I'll take. A green day is always a good day.
Yeah, it's important, and it's holding its shape too. It's not like it's getting battered all over the place. Like, you keep saying that GameStop is like Bitcoin, and I really feel like that right now. Like right now, GameStop is storing value, and that is its number one job, and that's like what it's doing, while they try to like beat it all over the place. And at least like they're not really getting a good chance to do that. I love the supports it has right now.
Right, and GameStop made that big move when AMC did on that eclipse. And the setup on AMC looks very similar to the setup going on right now on GameStop. So I'm not going to be surprised if they both pop on that full moon. I will not be surprised at all. Okay, so we got Purely Unbounded in. Emily, you ready to do a little quick reading for John?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to do a little quick reading from John because I don't want to make him wait too long. And then we're going to continue to do the price action. So let me let John in right now. Let's see, and we're already 50 minutes into the stream, Emily. Time is flying. That must be the Venus and Libra. Yeah, time is flying. We got 11 people in here. We got 8 likes. That's my favorite number, so we can keep it right there if you guys want. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for being here. If that's what's up. Okay.
Okay, don't kill me. I need his birth information again because my software is not saving anything.
Okay, I got you. Let's see. I'm gonna chat it to you, okay?
Okay.
Let's see here. Chat. Okay, there it is. Okay, so is John in here yet? Okay, he's still joining. Jose, what's your sign? Let us know your sign. Let us know your sign. If you're not in the Discord, get in Discord. Discord is Market MoonLord. Okay, we're just waiting for his thing to connect. Okay, Monty, the Zoom, I'm going to put it up right here. It's right there in the middle of the screen. And if you guys come in the waiting room, we'll just go one by one. I appreciate you too, Joey. Joey says he appreciates us.
Aw, thanks, Joey.
Shout out to Joey.
I'm so happy to get to do this. Like, really, it's been like the most amazing thing that's happened to me in my lifetime is AMC and its astrology.
Yeah, it really is. Shout out to Joey. He's definitely one of the original MoonLords out here. Joey, I feel like, I can't remember if you have like a Scorpio. I feel like you might have a Scorpio moon or something. It's back on the screen, Purely about it. But yeah, Joey, you've got to show us your face sometimes. I've never seen your face. I'm curious. Oh, and shout out to whoever told me to go ahead and use my picture on my YouTube channel. If you guys don't know, by the way, that I was using Anakin Skywalker because he's my guy. It's a great metaphor. He's got a lot of darkness, but he wanted to show his light. And I feel like I fight my darkness all the time. And I know a lot of us all fight our darkness. And we cannot be swept away by the dark energy, okay? We got to be in the light because we can end up like Anakin Skywalker and turn into Darth Vader. And that's fucked up, okay? We don't want that out here. So yeah, I changed my photo for it. That's why I changed it. Whoever told me to change it, shout out to you guys. I appreciate that. And shout out to Shonda, who said I'm like that because of my Pisces energy, my Scorpio energy. I like to have that mystery, you know. So I didn't feel a need to show myself at first. All right, it was building up a little bit of mystery. Okay.
Are you gonna do it on your Twitter too? I think you should.
I think I should. I'm gonna wait till I get a little bit of better photos and take some professional photos. But yes, I am gonna change my Twitter as well. Okay. It looks like Purely Unbounded couldn't come in. Let's see. Nope, he's not there anymore. Oh, Christina said we're both amazing. You're amazing too, Christina. Go ahead and drop your Twitter on the chat. Let everyone know who you are and all that good stuff. Because I respect your astrology. You always make a lot of good predictions on Twitter that are very, very, very useful.
Seriously, and that's the other thing. I'm in the middle of writing up everything that I just said about December 17th and the aspects I'm looking at. But this is something that we are going to need, like every astrologer, like everybody who knows like what's up, like to kind of take a look and sort of piece through it and see what you think about it, because there's a lot going on that day. And it should really be kind of like thoroughly examined. I'm probably being irresponsible calling it the maybe MOAS, but I got so excited. I spent like all weekend in those charts. But I'm so glad we have like more astrologers and so many spiritual heavy hitters here to figure it out.
Yeah, and what you guys don't realize, I mean, I'm sure you guys do realize it, but like astrology is, there's so many different things you got to look at. So many different perspectives you got to look at. It's really, truly ridiculous. And that's why I'm so happy there's so many other people getting involved with this financial astrology, because one person literally can't do it by themselves. It's like impossible.
Yeah, and especially, and Leah too. Leo's bringing different schools of astrology into it, but just even like between us, just being able to like show you charts or like ask for your interpretations on things and go back and forth. It's so valuable. Yeah. Like I love that the most about this like kind of time that we're in is that astrology isn't really a hidden community anymore. And there's like not as much, everybody's willing to show that their expertise or they're kind of professional in it, where I think that like 3 years ago that might have been kind of cringe to say like I'm an astrologer, and now people listen.
Yeah. And you know, the way I see it, as AI picks up and there's going to be you know, less jobs, less people connected in the physical, more things are going to be online. There's going to be more lostness in the world because the world is just moving very rapidly. I feel like people in the astrologers, or anyone in holistic world, or anyone that's just trying to help people find their path, I think all those are going to be much more valuable jobs in the near future. Or I want to say jobs, but viable work in the near future.
Well, I think about that all the time, especially with everybody that's gotten so incredibly, like, the DD detectives that we have in all of these communities are mind-blowing at what they've been able to put together. And that's another thing that is, like, automation-proof, is intellectual property. You know, like, the minds that are kind of going at it to unravel or, like, do that analysis and all that kind of stuff, those are really good skills to be developing for the future.
Yes,
because more stuff that is going to be, like, super marketable.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so I'm going to bring... Oh, we got 3 people. Okay, so guys, we're going to keep the readings short and simple and have a conversation, whatever you guys want to speak on. I'm going to let everyone in on order. John came in first. I'm about to let him in. Monty came in second, and then Joey, I got you next, okay? All right, so I'm going to let John in right now.
Okay, we have a lot to talk about with John.
Okay, so I'm going to bring up 3 people. Okay, so guys, we're going to keep the readings short and simple.
Hey, John, you'll have to mute the YouTube channel in the back, the YouTube video in the back.
All
right, perfect. How you doing today?
All good. How's everything?
Yeah.
It's good. It's especially good for you. You're coming up on a Venus return here. You're like a couple days away from Venus trine Venus in Libra, your exalted Libra that you already had. You're already charmed there.
So talk to us, John. How's everything going? You got any questions specifically for your reading for the full moon, or what do you want to focus on today?
I'm really curious about the 19th area because I'm curious what happens when my Venus conjunct Venus directly.
Okay, Venus conjunct Venus directly. Okay, that's your Venus return that she was talking about. So Emily, you want to speak on that real quick?
Okay, so this is going to bring us into a controversial area because this is where our house systems that Jason and I have differ. Because he'll have you with a Venus in the 11th house, and I have your Venus in the 12th house, which I can actually make a really strong argument for. And there is how to say it, like there's an opportunity, there's work that you have to do to move your 12th house Venus into the 11th, because that 11th Venus placement is a cult following. Like that is something that means that like you will meet an audience almost guaranteed, and you guys will like not be separated, and every Venus transit that you have is building up to that. But while Venus is still in the 12th house of the unseen and hidden in your like subconscious area, it's almost like a 3-tap rule of your psyche in your birth chart, right? Like you kind of have to keep like pushing through. Like your Venus is at 5 degrees. It's practically on the cusp of both those houses, which makes it make sense even more.
True.
So I would say like definitely use that in any way that you want to bring something into the light. That's a great day for self-promotion. It's a great day for connecting, socializing, anything that's like that. But because it's going between your like 12th house and 11th house, it's going to be involving both of those issues. So this is either something happening behind the scenes. This could be like a new like female collaborator, mentor, somebody like that coming in. And 11th house is your house of hope and wishes and audience like that work and all that kind of hope and wishes and audience work and all that.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, Venus return is actually very, very fun, and the fact that Emily uses whole sign systems and I don't is very beautiful, because you're getting 2 different perspectives, and they both are valid. I truly believe that, and
they really do. And there's something about like, especially like when you go through a Venus year, like perfection-wise or something like that, you do see that those of us that have dual placements, you'll spend half of your lifetime in one and half of your lifetime in the other. Like it's not always like a merging of the two. Sometimes it can really signify like a really big shift in direction, you know, and just a complete total different change of circumstances from when you're young to like when you're like, I'd say after middle life. Like I have my Venus and Mars either in the 12th house or the 1st house. And when I was like younger, like nobody could have gotten me streaming like this. I was so shy. I had so many I was really I actually had a lot of really famous friends and different kinds of stuff, but I was always behind the scenes. Like I've always been so comfortable in a green room, you know? Like that's kind of how I interacted with the world. And now after 40, I'd say probably 41, it keeps picking up steam. None of my stuff works anymore if I don't put my face to it. You know what I mean? Like those behind the scenes faces are kind of closing off to me and forcing me to put my image to the things that matter to me. And actually connect with people, if that makes sense.
And so when you're coming through a return of any planet, you could think of that planet having a birthday. So it's almost about to enter a whole nother chapter of its cycle. All right, it just made a complete loop around the zodiac, and every time a planet makes a complete loop, that planet now has a better perspective on life that it's trying to operate in. Okay, so you have a new completion of how you are dealing with relationships, how you're dealing with your money, how you're dealing with balance, how you're dealing with your own abundance and harmony in your life. So whatever is being shown to you at this time that you need to rebalance, restable, that's what you should be focused on. Now, another thing you can look at when you're talking about the Venus return is see what houses your Venus rules to get more information there, okay? Venus rules 2 houses. For you, it rules your 12th house, and it rules your 7th house. So the 12th house is your psychological health, okay? You could say, I meant to say psychological house, but it is psychological health as well. Yeah. And Venus, as we mentioned earlier, is very healing. So you could be going through some psychological, spiritual healing. You could also be doing some psychological upgrading, learning how to balance your mind better, learning how to stabilize your mind better. All could be seen here. And from the 7th house, the Venus return is also activating your Taurus in the 7th house, which could also show new relationships, endings of relationships, new balance with relationships, new opportunities with money. Okay, Venus has a lot to do with money. I will mention, don't overspend with Venus in the 12th house, because in the 12th house, things can get lost there, they say. They say that's like the house of losses, okay? But it was really, that house is not physical. It's all spiritual there, okay? So things can get just lost in nowhere land. So be careful with the money when it comes to your Venus returning into the 12th house. I have my Venus in 12th house too, but for me it looks like it might bring me some money, so that could play out as well. Venus is very strong in Libra, and it does rule money. And another thing you could be looking into, like, is new partnerships or new opportunities with partners with this Venus return. And for me, since it is in your 11th house, this will definitely show activation of the 11th and the 7th, and that's all social houses, which will show potentially one-on-one relationships, but also relationships with organizations, relationships that you have out in the world can help you with your long-term goals, because that's the 11th house, long-term goals. So this Venus return is looking very, very sexy for you, and it also makes a 0-degree trine to Jupiter. So whew, yeah, you're good. I mean, 0-degree trine to Jupiter. Venus is one of the biggest benefics in the zodiac, meaning it gives good results. And Jupiter is the most lucky sign of the zodiac. So if you activate this correctly, it can be very expansive. And guess what? Your Jupiter is in your 8th house of investment, resources. So you really could be getting some better resource opportunities with people at this time. That's for sure.
Yeah, and the trine from transit Venus to your Jupiter goes exact on what day we're looking at. I think Wednesday.
No, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then it's like 2 degrees later, it's going to conjunct your Venus. So this week is a big one. I would definitely keep your vibes as clean as possible. Try to connect to those waves. You know, be charming like Venus. Be generous and optimistic like Jupiter. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm corny about this, but I really do think, like, if you want the planets to favor you, you have to invite their energies and show that you, like, understand what they're trying to represent to you.
Yeah.
But generosity will unlock a lot of this, like that generosity of spirit, optimism, like let your thoughts be big, and this is really fertile ground for all of that to, like, kind of pop.
Beautifully
something.
said.
I'm looking forward to see what it is.
Yeah. So John, off of that, do you have any statements or any questions for us?
I'm just looking forward to see what's going to come. Just gonna watch and see.
Okay, straight up. And you got anything you want to say to the MoonLords?
You know I love you guys. You know
Hell yeah.
I love you all.
Hell yeah.
Everybody enjoy your day.
All right, beautiful. All right, John. Well, I appreciate you. You're one of the most original MoonLords that helped me in this to propel this whole situation on my channel. So I definitely appreciate you always. I owe you. Whenever you do want to start something or get something popping, you know I'll be there to help in any way I can. All right.
And I hope you're gonna bring it here. Like, hope people still be streaming. Like, let us debut some stuff. Give us a scoop.
Yeah.
All right. I got you guys. I got you.
All right. Thank you, John. All right. I'm gonna let Monty in now. See you later, John. Okay. Emily, I chat you his stuff. If
Okay,
you need
I
it.
got it. I
Okay.
put it in just before, so we're ready on Monty.
All right, Monty, I'm gonna let you in now. Okay. Monty, what's up? He's coming in. Hey, how you doing?
Hi.
Good.
Good to see you, homie. Good to see you. So you got some time off finally, huh?
Yeah. Looks like it's a week at home. Just paperwork, thank goodness.
Yeah.
On the road.
Yeah, I hear that. So what's going on? You got any questions for us? Or anything specific you want us to look at, or you just want us to take a peek and see what we see?
Yeah, I'm just looking to see what my, where Venus is at, how she's helping me or not helping me.
Okay, perfect. All right, I'm pulling you up.
Totally. You've had some big stuff going on too. You have, you have Jupiter trine Uranus right now, and it's closing into an exact trine. Retrograde Jupiter is hitting it again. So this is a trine between your 4th house, your house of home, and your 8th house of other people's money and death and sex and kind of taboo things, inheritance, legacy, stocks. That's another big one, investing one. So you are kind of like heading for a slightly beneficial time on that one, which is also going to get like re-strengthened when it goes direct a little bit later. But you have, you have some interesting days coming, for sure. Venus is going to conjunct your Pluto, like in not too long, which is one that we've been looking at. That is kind of like, that just feels like windfall energy to me. I don't know why, especially because it's in your 4th house of home and property. Like that, like Pluto is such about acquisition, and the 4th house is where we like hold our property, how we treat that, and everything that makes our, I guess that's actually all I have to say about that.
Okay, so I have his Venus is about to conjunct his Pluto in his 9th house.
Wait.
So I have August 16th. Oh wait, excuse me. April 19th, 1970. Yep. Okay, so first of all, you have Venus at the very, for me, you have because I'm not using whole signs. You have it at the very end of your 8th house and is about to enter your 9th house. That's very interesting to me because Venus is relationships, Venus is money, Venus is aesthetics, things looking beautiful, abundance. And 8th house is endings, beginnings, life, death, transformations. And what I mean by life, death, I just mean like the things ending and new things beginning. That's the 8th house. Okay, it's the transformation house. It's also the house of resources, other people's resources. House of how you handle your resources, how you handle your personal desires, your hidden desires, things that are suppressed. So Venus traveling here, and Venus rules your 9th house and it rules your 4th house. Okay, yeah. So there's going to be some transformation energy when it comes to your 4th house, home life, family life. There's going to be some transformation energy when it comes to your wisdom on life, your wisdom on how you balance life, because it's happening. It's going to activate your 9th house of wisdom, of enlightenment. Okay, so you're getting a lot of information on how you want to see things with your family, how you want to see things with your own personal desires, and how you're balancing that out, as well with how you're balancing out your newfound wisdom. Okay, because you're getting a lot of wisdom because you've been through a lot of transformations. Now, there are some money changes happening here, and it looks like you're at the end of that. So there's some type of climax of money happening here. I know you just got a promotion. Did you take that promotion, by the way?
No, it was a lot more work, but not a lot more pay.
Okay. Well, hey, you had to go through that situation. You had some money opportunities there, and you had to weigh the scales. That's very Venus-like. Your Venus was in Virgo when that was happening, so you had to pay attention to the details, look at the fine print, make a decision. And there still looks like there's going to be some type of climax of money here, or resources. And it could be other people's resources, or the Venus does square your Saturn. And your Saturn is in your 6th house of routines, physical health. So it does look like there could be new things you're going to have to put in your routines that are going to have to help with money, or going to have to deal with your resources. Okay, so there does look like there's some resources maybe getting pulled from you here a little bit, but at the same time, since Venus is in your 8th house at the end of it, there's still a climax energy, and that can be sudden, blah blah blah. But Saturn does suggest that there's a lot less fun happening right now and more work, getting a square from Saturn from the 6th. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So keep grinding, because that does look like it's going to pay off. Okay, but it looks like your everyday routines in life has a lot to do with working and not as much fun time as usual, or as much as you want. But that is going to pass, and as Venus travels the 9th house, it looks like there's going to be opportunities of expansion and of travel. Okay, and it looks harmonious for the most part. Emily, is there anything you want to add to that?
No, I agree with all that.
Okay. One thing I do want to mention, since your Venus is 4 degrees away from Pluto, and it is happening in Libra, that looks awesome. That looks awesome, actually. You're going through, let me see that exact day that happens. Thursday, okay? And that's right around where I'm expecting a AMC pop. Okay, so your DD is looking up for some type of major transformation when it comes to money, especially because it is hitting your Pluto. Pluto does rule your 10th house, your career house, what you're doing in the world. So there does look like some expansive energy. You got a lot of blue lines. You got a lot of blue lines happening in your chart around this time. And the sun is lit. You got a sun trine the sun, sun trine Uranus, sun trine Mars. So whatever is going to happen is going to happen quickly. It's going to be sudden. And to me, that does look like it could be an AMC pop. Okay. So things are looking really good. And always remember, you have a retrograde Pluto and Saturn in your first house. Okay. That's super, super heavy. I really want you to deal with whatever weight you have right now, because in October, when all that stuff goes direct, that weight is going to clear, and whatever work you put in is really going to harvest in October, for real. Like you got some major first house energy going on. You see that, Emily?
Totally.
Yeah, major first house going on. So, Monty, any questions for us? Any statements for us? Anything you want to say to the MoonLords? Talk to us.
No, you guys are awesome. I'm happy you guys created this and a website that we can hang out in the Discord. So,
hell yeah.
Actually, there is something I want to say about the Pluto.
Talk
and
to
this
us.
kind of, is that okay?
Please.
Monty, do you have to run?
No.
Okay, so one of the things that we're looking at, especially like the Venus conjuncting your Pluto, is so interesting because on the January 27th pop that we had and the December 15th pop that we're looking at, it's a Pluto aspect, Venus-Pluto conjunction, that causes the whole thing. The people that are most likely Pluto and Scorpio, millennials could do really well with this.
Yep.
So that is something that is really good for you, because these heavy Pluto activations with benefics are more likely to go right for you than anybody else. And anybody who doesn't have a Pluto heavy chart can still access that. You just have to do like some more remediation in this time to kind of get Pluto's attention. But that's just another bullish thing for you, Monty.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know, Pluto's got me caught up. You know, the more and more I look at what's happening in your chart, you have 4 planets in the 8th house, and you got Pluto retrograde in your first house. Okay, this is just like a lot of Pluto scorpionic energy. Okay, so I really want you to pay attention to your whatever information you could be receiving, because it can be sudden. There's a lot of sudden energy happening here, and there could be a lot of things happening that you didn't see coming. There could be a lot of, the sun's in the 8th house. This is very exposing like energy. Like if you were doing things you weren't supposed to be doing, I would say, you know, be careful, because you can be exposed during this time, or things around you that are happening could also be exposed. Okay, the most important thing you want to remember with this is to stay calm and collected, because Scorpio energy could just be taken so far so quickly without even realizing it. Okay, but there are a lot of sudden potential opportunities and obstacles you got going on here, but I see a lot more positive than I do negative. I don't really see any negative, but I see the potential of, you know, scorpionic stuff, something sudden. There could be many things suddenly happening in your life, but overall, the overall energy looks way better. It looks good. It actually looks pretty good. You barely have any squares or anything like that. Okay. All right. So Monty, thank you so much for joining us. You know I love you. You know you're my guy. I appreciate you being here, just like I appreciate all the other MoonLords. Until next time, I'll catch you in the chat. I'll catch you in the Discord, all right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye,
All
Monty.
right, bye. All right, Monty's my guy. I like him a lot. His energy is amazing.
I know. He always, like, you should definitely keep an eye out for his due diligence, too. That was one of the people I was thinking about, and being able to, like, take that analysis and do whatever with it.
Yep.
Definitely monetize it.
Yeah. Monty has a beautiful Venus-Jupiter conjunction in Pisces, and that's what gives him all that loving. Oh, he also has a moon in Pisces. Wow. So he has a moon in Pisces, Venus in Pisces.
He has the intuition guiding what he's looking for, too.
Yeah.
His moon in Pisces always makes me, like, really, like, look to his stuff more, because it's not just intellect. Like, the people that have the access to intellect and intuition are really dangerous.
Yeah. I really like his setup right there, all that Pisces energy. Very beautiful stars in Pisces. Okay, so let's see. We got Joey coming in, and someone just knocked on my door. Do you have Joey's birth chart?
I don't know. Why don't you send it to me?
Okay, actually, yeah, it's in the chat. This is going to be the last reading that we do today, guys, for Joey. And let me see who's at my door real fast. Give me a second, guys.
let's see. I got Joey coming in.
Hello.
Hello. He's gonna be back in just a second.
Okay.
I'm on a live stream right now.
And I'm getting you loaded up.
Okay, that'll be perfect. Thank you so much.
Joey, where's your birthplace? Oh my god, there you are. He's gonna be so excited. He gets to see your face.
Oh, snap. Joey with the Matrix background. I see you. Oh,
There
snap.
he is. This is like a big introduction.
Oh my gosh. What's
Joey,
up,
what's
Joey?
your birthplace, please?
Fresno,
Okay.
California.
Oh, that's what I messed up on before, Emily. I didn't give you the location. That's probably what
Okay.
happened.
I got it. Okay, so just to double check because I'm getting this wrong lately. You are a Leo rising?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. We've got Scorpio sun.
What was it? Scorpio sign?
Yeah.
Scorpio sun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Scorpio sun. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Jory with the Scorpio background, Scorpio sunglasses on. I see you. I see you.
Sorry.
Thank you for revealing yourself, homie. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I appreciate all Scorpio dominating people to reveal themselves. I appreciate that because I know that's not easy. I'm Scorpio. I got Scorpio energy, and a lot of us do. Okay, and the more we expose ourselves, the better. All right. So it looks like Venus will be in your second house, and she's not making any aspects yet, but Venus in the second house is very, very strong. You want to know why? Because Venus belongs to the second house. Okay? Second house has a lot to do with basically anything you value. So a lot of people look at the second house, including me, as how we treat our money, how we treat our savings, the possessions we could come into, how we treat our possessions are all in the second house. So having Venus, the ruler of the second house, naturally is the ruler of the second house. Naturally, going in your second house, you could definitely see more money. You can definitely see more possessions. You can definitely see yourself balancing out what you do have, what you don't have, trying to figure out ways of getting it. You could be coming up with new original ideas to get money, to get more possessions, to get more abundance with the things you do have. There's new ideas coming in for that. And just the relationship you have with your things and how you treat those things are also changing a little bit, and you could just be finding new ways to appreciate life a little bit more with this type of aspect. So are you feeling any of this energy?
Yeah, I'm feeling that all, honestly. I can tell you, but I want you to go off.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm feeling that change of possessions to more value and changing my the things I do to more simple, humble things. Just appreciating the moment more in the now. Just feeling that a lot. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Which is really, you just hit on something that's actually really strong planetary magic for this time, which is, again, we've been talking about embodying those qualities. Balance in your second house right now and aiming for it however you have to is going to, multiply whatever you're balancing big time. That's kind of the secret to activating everything. And it's really tempting when you have, a planet like Venus who has so many goodies going into domicile in, a house that has so much fun to offer, earned income and possessions, and going out. It's tempting to take that way too far, and just try to accumulate as much as possible. And you can throw yourself really out of whack with your environment and everything else that you're supposed to do. So wise stewardship over your possessions, treating the things that you've been given as gifts and really valuing them and going through the gratitude. And also making sure that you're still available to the people that haven't been given as much as you have, because I have this in your third house of community and networks. So your neighborhood around you, your siblings, anything you're going on a day-to-day basis, those are all good places to be putting your generosity as well. You'll get returns from that.
Yes, for sure. And another thing I wanted to mention is you have the sun dead smack, or it's 2 degrees off, but it's really on your ascendant, right now. And so this information you're getting is on point. Whatever information you're getting on yourself, whatever you're thinking about yourself is most likely on point, because the sun is the all-seeing eye. It's on your ascendant, on your persona, on your ego, on your programming, and all that stuff. All that stuff is getting better in tune, better in line with you. Okay, so really listen
and it's
to.
so amazing that you chose to get on camera today, because that's exactly what the sun wants you to do. Like, the sun is on your degree of self, like where you came into this world, and the sun prizes nothing more than visibility. Like the Leo, the performance and whatever. Like, if you take a chance and you unveil yourself when the sun is making aspect to things, that's a really big deal for him. Like, he blesses that, and you might be finding more opportunities to be public or seen in ways that you haven't coming up in the next couple of weeks too, I would think.
Yes, and your vitality right now is really strong. Like, you have a lot of good energy with the sun in the first house to follow your heart. Really, it's in Leo. Leo's all about following your heart. Okay, so really, I want you to really focus on following your heart at this time, but don't get too far into the lion energy where you're showing your teeth. Okay, because the sun in the first house with Leo right there, this is turn up energy. If you let the energy take you there, right? But you can go out hunting for whatever you want at this time, for sure. And you're getting a lot of good information. So if there's anything you're trying to learn at this time, it's a great time to do that, because Sun in Leo is about educating, is about information, is about getting in the light. So definitely take in some information, anything you want to research in, and you can also put out information, put out the light, because the Sun in Leo is a first houser, is a great opportunity for you to get attention, great opportunity for you to be in the public world. Facts, okay? Now, another thing I want to mention going on in your chart is Uranus is pulling up on your midheaven, and it's making a square to Jupiter. And Uranus is debilitated in Taurus, and it's on your midheaven, okay? So, to me, what you're doing in the world is changing, okay? And the more you embrace that change and not fight the old ways that you wanted things to look and go into the future, own your uniqueness, is the better, okay? Because you're going into a situation where your career and what you're doing in the world is just going to automatically change, and you just want to get on that wave early. Would you say that's true, Emily?
Yes, and I have actual expertise in this one, because your midheaven is at 17 degrees Taurus, and that's my ascendant. So I have been clocking that point for when Uranus is going to cross it for a really long time, because my first house transit, I have a whole stellium down there, and I am like not even the same person that I was when Uranus like entered Taurus. So this is something that you can almost, I'd say let it happen, but know that it's coming. I think that it goes exact, because we're going to have like a Uranus retrograde coming up. So for us, it's going to hit that point exactly, I think, February of 22. And in the meantime, shit's going to start shaking loose. That's not supposed to be in the new structure. The only thing about Uranus is that he is literally the planet of unpredictability, okay, as well as ruling astrologers. So there is no way to predict them. Like, we always joke that if there was an astrologer that could do it, they'd be like a triple billionaire, because you would get like all the black swan moments right, like as they were coming. But what you can expect is like a sudden change, like a revolution, a need for freedom, real freedom in your public life. Like, not having, it's going to be really hard for you, like working for somebody else, or if somebody is putting like limitations on your like actual career and expertise, you're not going to be able to tolerate it for long. So just know to have like escape plans ready, like if somebody's trying to limit you, because that's not what your astro is about right now.
Right. I totally 100% agree. That's beautifully said. And the last thing I want to mention on your chart is your Jupiter is retrograde in the 7th house. When that goes direct, there's going to be some serious activation energy for relationships that can help you expand your life. And it looks like you could be running into some type of teacher or some type of person of wisdom that can actually help you in your life as well, because Jupiter is the guru, the philosopher, and it's about to hit Pisces again. So yeah, your 7th house, like relationship stuff, looks like it can be expanding this year and then definitely in 2022. Okay.
Well, you and I have so many of the same placements, because you have Uranus in the 7th house and so do I. And that's actually like a really cool place to host it. It's hard because like our relationships can literally be explosive, like, and not what they're expected. But it's also with Jupiter in your 7th house. That is a very lucky placement, because you can have a lot of sudden meetings with like extraordinary people that most people don't get to have access to. You know what I mean? Like private contacts and long lasting friendships with like famous people or geniuses, or like people that are just like too fascinating to not be around. and they're almost always going to be lucky for you because you have the Jupiter placement there. But partnerships are lucky, and you will have partnerships are lucky. You might do better when you're in a committed relationship in life in general than otherwise, just in being able to attract abundance to you.
Right. But as a Libra moon, it's really important because your moon is naturally in Libra. It's really important that you are able to be by yourself, able to love yourself. That way, when you do get in a relationship, you're not dependent on them to how you feel about yourself. That's really important. Like, you have to learn to feel good without partners, okay? And until you master that, you're never going to attract the perfect partner for you, because the more you're in your true energy, your highest self, the more likely you're going to attract the right person. Trust me, you attract people. You just got to make sure you're attracting the right people. You feel me? Trust me on that, okay? But we should talk about that a little bit more, just on a personal level with your Libra moon, because that's a tricky one. It's a beautiful one, but a tricky one in my personal opinion, okay? So before we let you go, Joey, do you have any questions, any statements, anything you want to say to the MoonLords? Talk to us.
I love the MoonLords. Just
Thank you.
guiding us, is helping us all.
Oh yeah.
So I didn't know any about these aspects. This is my first time like actually getting a in-depth reading, especially from both of y'all. So it's definitely hitting hard. And today I actually have a interview for internship. So maybe that's the spark. Like I'm gonna.
That's awesome, because there isn't anything, like, if anything is offered to you from periods or like interviews happening in this time, definitely consider it, because like you said, with the sun on your ascendant, this is like guiding light, you know what I mean? Like, you're gonna get big bright neon signs, like it's gonna be real obvious where you're supposed to go, very highly visible.
Yeah, and
As
if
long
you
as, like, you feel it with your heart.
Yeah, exactly. It should be warm.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, Joy. I appreciate you being here so much. I appreciate you always being part of the MoonLords and supporting us. I owe you too. So if you ever want to do anything or you need me, want me to help on anything, I got you. Okay, you just gotta shoot me a message and I'll be there. All right, homie.
All right. Thank you, man.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, Joey.
Have a good one.
See ya. Okay, so so me and Emily really want to keep these readings down to 2 people. So on this next one, this is going to be
We should say, like, that is Jason being so nice to me, because he's a little bit more the advanced spiritual practitioner. So, like, I'm still learning how to, like, generate enough spiritual energy to not be, like, passed out for 18 hours on Tuesday after we stream.
Yeah.
Some things have to, like, take their time, or else I'm just, like, absolutely catatonic for a day trying to recover.
Yeah.
But I'm getting stronger all the time.
Yeah, it really isn't the easiest thing in the world to do this, like to do readings, and to have that space open for everybody. It is, even though we love doing it, it is draining. I mean, it takes a lot of energetic work, you know. So okay, we have this downside. This is your first time here, so I just don't want to leave you out. So we're going to definitely do a quick reading. It's going to be really quickly. It's probably just going to be mainly me talking for now. But I got you. We got you. Okay, so we're gonna let you in right now. I'm just putting in your birthday. Let's see. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna let him in right now.
Okay.
Hey, how are you?
Hi. How's it going?
Emily, it's December, not February. I made a typo there.
Okay.
Hey, you gotta turn on your mic. You see the little mic icon? Downside, you with us? Downside? Okay, she's with us, but you gotta turn on your mic. You got a mic. You got to turn on. Hit the mic button.
It's not working.
Hit the mic
Okay,
button.
let's take a look. I'm sure we can see something. So let me check with you. Jason, you have Cancer rising.
Let's
Did I
see.
get it right?
Yes, sure do.
Okay, and we have a Leo sun.
Yep.
Awesome.
Oh wait, you say Leo sun? Let's see.
Yes, do we not?
I have a.
No, wait.
The sun
no,
is.
No, sorry, that was like, yeah.
Okay,
You're
yeah.
right. The sun is Capricorn.
Perfect. Okay, so.
Ooh, sun ascendant opposition. That's spicy.
Yeah, it's very spicy. Downside, we can't hear you, but we can still see your chart. Oh, we can hear you now.
Yay, okay. I was going to just try and give you some stuff. Now you can ask us some questions.
Perfect.
I'm sorry.
You're fine.
No problem. I do this all the time. It is so mortifying. I find out like when I'm watching video back that something terrible happened with my mic or my audio.
Yeah. Okay.
And thanks in advance for everything you're gonna tell me. I always appreciate these kinds of looks into my chart.
Yeah.
You've got
absolutely.
some stuff happening too, so I'm glad you reached out to us. Do you have any specific questions?
No, it's been a year. I've been going through a lot of change, and it seems like whenever I feel like nothing more can come down on me, it does.
Mm-hmm.
So I have really bad news. There's more coming. But it looks like it's beneficial. So what's happening now is I have in your 4th house of home, Venus is about to conjunct your Uranus. Okay, so your planet of expectations and sudden changes in your 4th, the base of your chart, is about to be aspected by Venus. The good news here is that is almost always an upside. And undoubtedly, like the changes that you've been going through, like it can be a really hard one. Like I had a Venus conjunct Uranus transit not too long ago, and it ended up with an inheritance, but it also meant that I lost my mother-in-law. So it can kind of go to both upside. But there is definitely enough activation here that I would say that like, because then you have Libra moving to conjunct your Jupiter and your South Node at the same time.
Yeah.
All this week. This is a lot. I'm so sorry. It's a lot. It's good stuff, but it's what my therapist would call a positive stressor. You know what I mean? Like even moving to the place of our dreams is still moving. Like it's still very tiring. It's really exhausting. And getting to those better places that we need to go is so rarely like just like a dream journey. But this is stuff that you're being led to something that is unavoidable and much better for you. What's going on? Is this work stuff or home stuff? What's happening right now?
Well, earlier this year, my husband asked for a divorce, and that's pretty much finished now.
You have Pluto in your 7th house right now.
Yeah, I know that.
I'm so sorry.
And then one of the few things I had going for me during all that is I was just like, well, I have my job, and that is in its own little state of flux right now as well. So it's like I just get through the relationship, and then my job seems to go away. And so I'm looking for a new job, and I'm just like, when is it all going to end?
Okay, so for you,
and these transits are amazing for you. Honestly, these transits are amazing for you because you have the ability with Venus moving into a house with Uranus and Jupiter to pull in something where there isn't anything before. There's nothing that has to be broken down to get out of the way of it. But this is definitely something I would consider stuff that lets you work from home because it is in your home and it is opposing that, or things that are kind of like closer to home coming in. But this is your IC, your 4th house is in opposition of your 10th house of career. So all of the planets that move here are going to have effect on something there because our careers obviously affect our home so closely. But you absolutely, this is good. This is good. If you can get enough rest, if you can like power up, that's going to be a really big deal right now because like this is really exhausting stuff. But you can keep yourself in a prime state to like ride these waves because you're very, very close.
Right.
And this is a good time to be looking for jobs too.
I agree with that. And the big thing that sticks out to me as everything you just kind of were mentioning is Saturn in your 8th house retrograde right now. Saturn is how we build reality and how we have our structures. And when it's retrograde, it's almost like our reality can kind of have to get reanalyzed, redone, reflected on. and how we build going forward it has to change when Saturn goes direct, right? Because we're learning and understanding our new reality, okay? And so Saturn retrograde in your 8th house is going to bring a lot of unpleasant transformations sometimes, and it can also bring a lot of restriction, especially when it comes to your resources, especially joint resources, because that is the 8th house, okay?
That's the 8th house. So that would be ruling your husband's income, which is obviously Saturn. Like, it deals with restrictions, so that's been taken out of the subject. And the easiest way to survive Saturn and everything that's happening is to get the lessons that he's trying to teach you on the first time. Like, there is so much, wow, you're being really strongly tested, but there's a way to pass the test. Like, I don't know any other way to say it. There's a way, and it looks like you're getting it. You know, you're putting like one foot in front of the other. But I'm not like gonna try and sugarcoat. Like, this is probably one of the more primal transformations that you're going to go through in your lifetime. You know what I mean? This looks a little biblical. This looks like it's a big deal, and it's definitely been like washing over you. But you're coming to a completion in a big way, and you have some like Jupiter conjunct Venus moments coming like later in the year in your 8th house as well. So with Saturn and Jupiter going back and forth, this is a big case of being like learning lessons, and then as they go back direct, seeing the seeds you've sown. Through some similar stuff like this, I know that it's so easy to just let that like deep sea diver tiredness like start to like call the shots. It really is about being rested and energized and able to make the choices that you 4 years from now want you to make with this. You know what I mean? Like, it's that kind of astrology.
And I'm gonna leave it with this too. Saturn and
Well, can we just check in really fast? Like, is any of this hitting? Are you like okay? Because this is such heavy news. Like, is there anything you want to ask that we can help?
No, I'm okay. I mean, as a Capricorn, I've kind of always kind of leaned into Saturn. I just kind of have always accepted it. But this year, it seems like Saturn and Pluto together are just really weighing me down. And you know, no matter what I try to do, it's just the next thing comes up.
Right. Well, here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one thing I can tell you when it comes to Saturn retrograde in Aquarius like that is it's time for you to be in an energy of a pioneer. Okay. Saturn retrograde in Aquarius is literally the pioneer coming to life. You literally.
Yeah, that's like, it's outsider energy too. It's like when you get forced like out of the sort of the circle or the haven so you can innovate, you know, like that needs to be done from a distance so you have the big perspective. And I totally cut you off, Jason. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're totally fine, Emily. And one thing I want to say is you want to look at your energy right now and turn it into like the mad scientist, okay? Like, you want to be like a mad scientist in life right now. Trust me, Saturn and Aquarius, especially since Pluto's going to start hitting Aquarius in your 8th house, this is you needing to turn yourself into a mad scientist. Look at life as a astronaut going to space and discovering a new world of surviving there, right? And it can be all sorts of new things you didn't even realize you can have or be, okay? So this is really an awesome time, an extremely awesome time for you to reinvent yourself. And it could be fun as long as you're getting into it like a scientist, getting into it like an inventor that's like obsessed with their work, okay? Because you definitely have a huge opportunity, I mean a big opportunity, to totally flip things the other way around and see the light, see the future you want, okay? This is really the universe trying to knock you into the future you want, but you have to own your originality. You have to own your truth when it comes to
It's
Aquarius
got to
energy.
be true to you, or it's going to get blasted out of the water. Like, there's not, and that's probably one of the more uncomfortable things about the Uranus energy and the Aquarius activations that you have going on, is that you're not going to be allowed to idle in things that aren't good for you and don't represent yourself. So there's too many environments where you were having to like really tone down behaviors to be acceptable or anything else like that. It's not suitable for you anymore. It's one more thing that's coming that's just like, for whatever reason, you need to be allowed to be very authentic to yourself and to your goals, because that's what's needed in the work that you're supposed to do moving forward. And if you're playing by somebody else's rules, you're not going to be delivering the message that you need to be delivering right now, from what it looks like.
Yes, concur. So downside, how do you feel, or down upside, how do you feel about all that? Do you have any questions, statements? Talk to us.
No, I'm just really, one, thankful that you guys took a look, and two, I'm glad to hear that I've got a way out. I've always felt that the only way through is out. I'm sorry, the only way out is through.
Right.
But this year in particular has just been really hard to get through, and it's nice to know that it looks like I'm kind of on the right path.
Yeah.
Not even to just get through. Like, this is definitely astrology that's going to have a big reveal. Like, there is the moment where you're going to look back and be like, oh my God, that was horrible, but it changed everything. Like,
Exactly.
That's what this is right now, because you have like North Node activation, all that kind of stuff. So, and that is the big, like, we don't know when it comes or how long it takes. Like, nobody volunteers for these awful periods, but there isn't anything that you're doing right now that's going wasted.
Right.
Somebody once told me that's what Uranus is for. Like, we have to be gobsmacked with some shit, right? Like, if you get advance warning, you like spend too much time like trying to run away from it or avoid. Not you, because you have a Capricorn sun and you're blessed with Saturn endurance. But most of us try to avoid the things that we need the most and it's better to just be caught by surprise, honestly. Like, if somebody like me would just be like anxiously anticipating. And that happens too. Like, I'm usually not able to see the astrology of something that's like very serious affecting me. Like, it always catches me by surprise. It'll like cloud itself.
Yeah.
But you've been through the worst of it. You've absolutely been through the worst of it.
Yeah, in October, when they start going direct in your 8th house, things are going to feel like things are going forward again. Like, they're already going to start to feel that way because they're almost out of October. But towards the end of October, when everything starts going direct, you're really going to have like a better clarity. That's for sure. All right?
All right, well, thanks again, guys.
Yep, thank you for being here. I
You're
appreciate
so
it.
welcome.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, so the readings are closed. Thank you guys so much.
Those are good readings. That's going to be worth sleeping 18 hours for. Those are awesome.
Thank you guys so much for calling in. Thank you guys so much for being here. We've been streaming for almost 2 hours now. We went way over time, but hey, that's what happens sometimes. So before we let you go, I'm going to have Emily let you guys know her platforms and all the good stuff so you guys can get readings from and get her information with.
Yeah, so you can find me at lovemoneyvenus.com, and that is where I've been posting my new blog, that I can actually write down all these crazy like dates and everything I'm working through, and that you guys can kind of like pick apart. And then I'm always on Twitter at Emmijen, EMMIJEN, and I love to interact with people there. That's kind of like my safe place right now. I love AMC Twitter.
Yes, me too. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for being here, supporting me and Emily. You guys keep us going. You guys give us life just like we're helping give the community life. You guys give us life just as much, and we appreciate you guys so much for that. So we're going to end the stream here. I'm Jason Alexander, the Blue Moon of Neptune. You're here watching it with me and Emily. This is a Market MoonLord. We're emerged to matrix with the motherfucking stars. Until next time, peace.
Bye, everybody.